So I'm just going to put it out there that this particular video that you're watching, if you are against the Second Amendment, if you are for this gun control nonsense, if you are pro Democrat, pro Joe Biden, you're not going to like this video. You're probably going to unsubscribe from my channel, and I'm completely okay with that. Now, what I'm going to share with you is the truth. None of the lies and BS that the left is pretty much just spewing out there uncontrollably. But at the end of the day, you have to realize what they're doing. They are destroying our country. They are destroying our economy. They are destroying our possibility of survival as we know it by wiping out our food supply, wiping out our transportation, wiping out our life savings. We have a lot of issues that we have to work through. We already had a lot of issues before the pandemic that has added complexity and greater challenges to creating a better country, creating a better society, a place for us to raise families and thrive and, have the ability to take advantage of the beauty and freedoms of being an American, a U.S. citizen, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But what they're doing in the White House is going to lead to our ultimate demise. And very, very few will survive. Even those who are placed at the highest level, the higher tier, the elitists, so to speak. I'm not saying that they are. That's just the title that they've been given or have taken upon themselves. I don't consider them to be elite, but those who are creating these destructive plans are theoretically considered to be those who would survive. But once their plan is in effect and the destruction begins, ultimately at some point in time they will face demise as well. They rely on us, and without us they can't survive, plain and simple. They don't know how to cook their own meals. They don't know how to build their own buildings, homes, offices. They don't fly their own planes. They don't do anything for themselves. They don't protect themselves. And what they're trying to do now is make it so that we can't protect ourselves. And, you would think that with what has gone on here recently in Buffalo, New York, what has gone on here recently in Uvalde, Texas, what is the first thing you want to do? Well, what we want to do is protect the innocent people. And how do we protect the innocent people? Well, we protect them by taking away everything that they have available to them to protect themselves. Why would you do that? Now we have this, you got to realize we have these lawmakers who are fighting hard to implement new rules and strategies to keep firearms, handguns, semi-automatic weapons, these quote-unquote assault rifles out of the hands of the law-abiding U.S. citizens who are only doing what is pretty much their God-given right to protect themselves and their family and their country and exercise their Second Amendment rights. And just yesterday announced that they're imposing, the Democrats are imposing a 1,000% sales tax or excise tax on assault rifles and high caliber magazines. Just the other day, Biden announced that 9mm ammunition is considered large capacity, large ammunition, large rounds. I don't remember exactly what he said. It was ridiculous. And, on the flip side, if you look at it, you think about it, it's like, well, this doesn't seem like a great way for us to protect ourselves, for us to feel safe. Knowing that the criminals out there do not play by the same rules that we do, and we have to. So you doing this to us only hurts us. It doesn't stop them. It doesn't hurt them. It doesn't change their mind, their mentality, their thought process, and their want to hurt and kill innocent people, you and I, our families, our kids. So if you look at it from a bigger picture, why would Joe Biden and his administration supply weapons to Ukraine? Why? They supplied weapons to Ukraine for one reason: to protect themselves against Russia. Plain and simple. They limited, they restricted supplying weapons to Russia because they deemed Russia as an enemy. So, if you apply these same principles to us, U.S. citizens, law-abiding citizens who are legally able, through background checks and certification processes, to buy, own, carry, use firearms here in the U.S., but you want to take those away from us, are you, Joe Biden, considering us to be enemies? Are you trying to protect us like Ukraine? Like you're trying to protect Ukraine, but instead of providing us with weapons like you did Ukraine, you take them away from us? I'm not really sure how this is going to be better for us and safer for us. And, thinking about the crazy shooter here in Texas, the amount of money that you charge for weapons, for these assault rifles, for ammunition, et cetera, isn't going to stop these crazy, deranged, mentally ill, and challenged people from doing what they do, from executing on the plans that they set out to do. He's 18 years old. He had the ability to buy thousands of dollars of of weapons and ammunition and accessories. Where did he get the money from? In addition to the continuously changing story, which the original story was ridiculous, of what actually happened to stop the event from occurring in Texas, you kind of got to wonder who actually gave him the money to buy these weapons. Wait, what is the agenda? You have lawmakers in Washington pushing very hard to disarm us, make us more vulnerable, after they've already made us vulnerable for food shortages and empty shelves. Apparently, they've made us vulnerable financially, inflation, hyperinflation, economic collapse, stock market crash, real estate prices through the roof. What more do they want from us? They're continuously stripping us of anything and everything that we have to survive. But you have these lawmakers in Washington pushing for bans, gun bans, and weapons bans, and excise taxes, and et cetera, and these lawmakers don't even know what a semi-automatic weapon actually is. They don't. They assume that a semi-automatic weapon is an AR-15 style rifle, not realizing that a semi-automatic weapon is pretty much almost anything out there. Handguns are considered semi-automatic weapons. They don't have a problem with handguns. They do have issues with the amount of ammunition that can be held within the magazines of these weapons, but at the end of the day, these deranged and crazy, mentally ill individuals are not showing up with one magazine. They're showing up with multiple. So, changing it from a 30 round, 20 round, 15 round, 10, 7 round is not going to stop them from wanting to, planning to, plotting to, and going out and executing these terroristic acts on us, the unarmed, vulnerable, law-abiding people of this country. These attacks happen in places where they know that the likelihood of them being engaged is extremely low because the people there have been disarmed. So if you do that to the entire country, what do you think is going to happen after that?